liberal philanthropist versus illiberal dictator. Hungarian billionaire investor George Soros has responded to fierce criticism from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban about his views on the European refugee crisis. Orban said last week that people like Soros are responsible for the refugee crisis and threaten the traditional European way of life. But in a speech at a conference for his foundation in Budapest, Soros praised keynote speaker Bernard Kouchner, who was the UN official in charge of the occupation of Kosovo back in 2000. Kouchner implied Orban's policies were racist and xenophobic.
He did interfere. I visited him, and he was definitely somebody who interfered.
Kouchner criticized some European member states for not taking enough initiative during the refugee crisis.
500 or 550 millions of European people, the richest of the world, and we are unable to share with 1 or 2 million in addition. This is untrue. There is no political will, but a political attitude, with nationalism coming back, with racism coming back.
Orban says the arrival of thousands of refugees and other migrants in Europe this year from Asia, Africa and the Middle East amounts to an attack on the continent's Christian identity and is a terrorism threat. According to an analyst of the Hungarian think tank Republikon Institute, Csaba Toth, criticizing Soros is only a strategy for Orban.
Once migrants are not coming in those huge numbers, he needs to have a scapegoat, and he also needs to go on attacking someone. I think that's also very important. The core of Orban's policy, according even to his own definition, is always conflict, it's always a battle against someone. So he needs to carry on, and he needs to have that battle going on. I'm not sure many people specifically believe this, but the notion that America and liberals have something to do with this, I think that sticks.
Orban enjoys a close personal relationship with Russian President Putin. In 2014, Orban infamously said he was basing his style of governance on the Putin regime. Orban reluctantly agreed to EU sanctions against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine after coming under intense pressure from other member states. Some analysts speculate the Kremlin and Budapest have coordinated their policies, including regarding the refugee crisis tearing Europe apart. Orban's government has been harshly criticized by the European Union and the United States for a media crackdown, reform of the court system, centralization of power and an attack on NGOs. Brussels has indicated to Budapest that it cannot expect to stay in the EU long term if its political and social policies continue to ape the Putin regime and undermine the founding principles of the 28-nation bloc.